Vayaram ki boshesh Moshe. Exodus 32:1, page 281. Moses saw, the people saw, that Moshe was late. Now, Ha'am, it doesn't say Israel, it says Ha'am. Rashi said, where it says Ha'am, it was the Erev Rav, the mixed multitude. So they started the panic attack.
Rabbi Sprecher,
They saw that.
I was digging underneath the Aron Kodesh.
Right.
And I found something that belongs.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Some
See that?
brushes.
Thank you. Toda Rabba. Shavas Aveda. Thank you. Vayaram ki boshesh Moshe. The people saw that Moses was late, Loredes minahar, to come down the mountain. Unkelos says Ochar Moshe. You see Unkelos? Moshe was late. Loredes from to come down. They call Ha'am again. It mentions Ha'am Aviezer to stress that it was the Erev Rav. They were the instigators of this tragic episode. The mixed multitude that Moses took with him, then he left Egypt. So it says twice, Ha'am, Ha'am. So the people assembled, and they said, Kum, get up, Asay lanu Elohim. Make for us what? A God? Asher yelchu v'neinu, go in front of us, Kizeh Moshe ho'ish, that this man Moshe, Asher lanu me'eretz Mitzrayim, that took us out from Egypt, lo yadanu meho yelo, we don't know what happened to him. Okay? So Rashi, let's learn Rashi here. Ki boshesh Moshe. Moshe targumoi. Rashi, loshen ichor. See page 281, Rashi? He was late. V'chein boshesh richbo ad bosh. Rashi brings sukkah that the word boshesh means what? That Moses was late. What do you mean he was late?
6 hours.
Ki sha'ala Moshe lahar, when Moshe went up to the mountain, Amar lahem, what did he say to the Jews? L'sayf arba'im yom ani ba. At the end of 40 days I shall return. Who said that? I shall return. B'toch sheish shoyes, bo sheish. B'toch sheish shoyes. I will return to you at the end of 40 days. What does bo sheish mean, Rabbi Yaakov Goldman? In the 6th hour. The 6th hour is when? High noon, right? Ki bo sheish. I will come back to you at the end of 40 days in the 6th hour of the day. If the day begins at 6, when is the 6th hour? Gary Cooper, high noon. Remember that? No. Kisavurim hain, but the Jews thought, Sha'ot ayam sha'ala min aminyan. They thought that the 40 days, the day that he went up, is part of what? The count. But he meant no, it was a misunderstanding. The whole Chet HaEgel was a terrible misunderstanding. He told them 40 days, not counting the day that I'm going up. You hear the mistake? One sec. Arboim Yom L'Leila Imo, 40 days and 40 nights. The Yom I lost on the day that I went up, ain't Leila Imo. That's not part of the count because it's not part of the night. Now Rashi gives the whole Cheshbon Aviezer. Shiva b'Sivan Allah. God spoke the 10 Commandments on the 6th of Sivan. When did Moses go up the mountain? He'll be coming up the mountain when he comes on the 7th of Sivan. Allah. Nimtza Yoim Arboim. So when is the 40th day? From the 7th of Sivan. What's 40 days later? Shivasa B'Tammuz. Right? B'Shisha Asa Baha Satan Yibet Olam. On the 16th of Tammuz, when they thought Moses is going to what? Come back. Satan came and he mixed up the whole world.
What does it mean, Satan came?
We'll talk. The Herod the Mus Choshech ve'Afela be'Burvia. Sounds like a Twilight Zone. In the middle of the day, it turned pitch black. You hear this? Loimar Vadai Meis Moshe. So the Jews said, Moses is not back. Why is it pitch dark in the middle of the day? It must mean that Moses what? Dead. Lekach bor burvia lolam. Therefore, this irburvia. How do you say irburvia in English? famished
Confused.
confusion in the world. Amalahem, Satan said to them, Mace Moshe. Moshe is dead. He ain't coming back. Kishevar bo sheishois. 6 hours of the day has come, bo, and he didn't come back. Bo sheish, no trikin, bo, see footnote shin. Bo sheish, 1 minute. Bo sheish, no trikin, what? Bo sheish. So Rashi quotes the Gemara in Shabbos Daf Peites. You hear? Gemara Shabbos Daf Peites. That Satan came and told them that Moses is dead. You guys are waiting for nothing. Now look at Rashi on 282. Kizeh Moshe. Wherever it says Zeh in the Bible, Rabbi Yaakov Goldman, in Tanakh it means to point. Where it says Zeh in Chumash, it means to point. What do you mean Kizeh Moshe? Ho'ish. So Rashi says, see Rashi on 282, the right column?
Kimin Dumut.
Kimin Demut Moshe Herlem Asatan. Shanoisim Oisoi Ba'avira Kishmayim. Satan showed them a vision of a dead Moses being carried by the angels on in a coffin.
My daughter made these cookies if anybody wants them.
Isn't that amazing?
This is for everybody?
Kizeh Moshe Ish.
Don't all fight over it.
It says Zeh. Kimin demis Moshe heralhem asatan shenosim osa be'avir reki hashemayim.
Take a half.
It's a column in the Jerusalem Post that people are addicted to their cell phones. Mamish sickness. They can't stop.
Absolutely.
They just cannot. No, they just cannot stop.
Thank you.
Even in the middle of learning, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can't stop twitching. Unbelievable.
He's speaking to you.
I know you. You think I'm stupid?
No, it's unbelievable. Thank you very much. After 120, people say, gee, I wish I would have twitched more on my dumb phone. I didn't spend enough time on my dumb
Some
phone.
people
Gee.
will say that. You won't be whatever.
So anyway, what's going on over here? It says the word zeh, kimin demis Moshe heralhem asatan shenoisim oisa ba'avir kishmayim. They pointed. There's a dead Moses floating in the sky. Moses in the sky. What? The Spirit in the Sky. Who sang that? Norman Greenbaum. Remember that? No, before your time. Spirit in the Sky. And it got everything from us. But what's going on over here? That why did God allow this? Who is Satan? Who is Satan? He's a robot. He works for the boss. So why did God allow this? Kimin demis Moshe heralem asatan shenosim osa ba'avir reki hashemayim. It's chapter 32:1. In the year 32:1, Exodus. What do you have? Laryngitis?
This is the proof it was a setup.
But some, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Kutasichas, volume 16, takes off on this. It's actually Gemara Shabbos Peites that Rashi is quoting. This was all orchestrated. But why? To prove the awesome power of tshuva. That a person, after he falls, can rise much higher than before the fall. To prove that, therefore, God allowed Satan to orchestrate this charade where the Jews thought that holy Moses is what? Dead. He ain't coming back. And actually, to allow Satan to have to show the Jews a vision of a dead Moses being carried in the air. And he said to them, Met Moshe. Wow.
Rabbi, it seems more in Isayon.
Well, they could have what? But again, the instigators were the Erev Rab. And they infected the other Jews as well.
The was God.
Moshe met. Isatam told them. Rashi quotes the Gemara in Shabbos Peites. Met Moshe.
How could they know it was Satan?
Moshe met. Amar lahem. Satan said to them. I wish we had the Gemaras.
What
I
are you
mean,
reading?
I'm reading Rashi at the bottom of 281, in the left column, 5 lines up from the
Men
top.
Moshe,
Vaday Moshe Mesh, Kach Bo Revuvia La'olam. See, 5 lines up from the top, La'olam, Amalahem, Satan said to them, Meis Moshe, Kishkavar Bo Sheis V'lei Bo. Rashi quotes Shabbos Daf Peites. Okay? That's pretty incredible.
Yata b'masechet, okay.
Kedisa. Kedisa means as is found, Masechet Shabbos Peites. So you're right, there was a setup. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe has a whole sikh on this. Hashem did it to prove b'mokum shebala tshuva oimet tzadigoma lo yochal lamoid. To prove that a Baal Tshuva stands higher than what? Than a tzaddik. So Hashem did this to demonstrate that only when a person sins and does tshuva does he become what? Higher and higher. Incredible idea. It's a dangerous idea, but it's an idea. In fact, excuse me, Rav Tzaddik HaKohen, he missed a good cheer yesterday at 2 o'clock at the OU. Rav Tzaddik HaKohen says, Adam and Chava, they were God's own handiwork. Who escorted Chava down the aisle? Who was Chava's hairdresser? Gemara in Shabbat. Sanhedrin says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol, he braided her hair and walked it down the aisle. So how could they what? Disobey him. So Rav Tzadik's this idea. They knew that a Baal Tshuva stands higher than a Goody Two-Shoes. They purposely sinned in order to what? To do tshuva. What's wrong with that? So Rav Tzaddik says, they crossed the line. If you sin spontaneously, but not to go with the cheshbon, I'm going to sin and do tshuva, that's dangerous. That only works when you sin spontaneously, not when you sin deliberately. But they got confused. Adam and Chava were, God's own handiwork, yes?
According to Manis Friedman,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Says they didn't sin.
Who?
They did.
Adam and Chava didn't sin? The Torah says they sinned.
They did it because they knew that God wanted them to do it. It's a
To
pity.
prove the power of tshuva, right?
For another reason, okay, you can eventually say also this.
I got to work this into my, thank you.
It's
We'll
a
have to
pity
talk
you
about
don't have
it.
a computer, because I would like to send to you the number.
You can bring your printed out then.
No, it's on
Too long?
It's on wording. It's a video.
Adam and Chava, the same idea. They sinned in order to do teshuvah. It's the same idea. Rav Tzaddik HaKohen from Lublin. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Kizeh, the key word is Kizeh, Kimin demis Moshe Herel Hema Satan. That where it says the word Zeh in Chumash, Zeh means to point with your finger. What were the Jews pointing at? On the Erev Ra, they were pointing to this vision they saw in the sky where angels were actually carrying the body of Moses. Oh, that's what they thought they saw.
Rashi doesn't give an explanation.
He does. Rashi Kizeh Moshe. 282, second Rashi in the right column. Kizeh Moshe, you see?
No, there's an explanation why God sent the Satan to give
Why
them-
God allowed it. No, that's what he's about to Rebbe for.
No, okay.
You don't want the Rebbe to be unemployed. He said that it was a setup. Kuta Sichas, volume 16. You can look it up.
Likutei 6,
Lakuta Sichas, volume 16,
there are many in the
page 412, 413. Lakuta Sichas, Kute Sichot, Sichos, volume 16, page 412.
6th page.
Page 412 and 413. Takes off on this Gemara Shabbos Peites. Takes off on it, yes? What?
Everything's if that's the case, all creation,
No,
from the start to beginning and everything between is a set.
Rabbi Kaplan, the great man who translated this, he said, how do we really have free will when he knows everything beforehand, right? So he says, he gives the analogy, when an amateur is playing chess with the Grand Master of the universe. You're playing chess with the Grand Master, you are moving independently, aren't you? He doesn't force you, but somehow he's controlling the game. So that's the analogy Rabbi Kaplan gives. What? We do move independently, but we're playing chess with the Grand Master, and his will be done sooner or later, right? Sometimes later than sooner, but we are all going to succeed. How do I know? Isaiah chapter 60. God says, Amech kulam tzadikim. How could God say to Isaiah, all of your people, Isaiah, including merits, they're all tzadikim? That's what God tells the prophet Isaiah in chapter 60. So the Ariya Kodesh explains, yes, after all the tikkunim and all the gilgulim, va'amech kulam tzadikim, yes? We are all destined to succeed. The question is, after how many rings on the ladder, climbing the soul ladder? So anyway, yeah. So they come to Aaron and they say, build us what? What? What do they say? Build us a God. What do they say there? Exodus 32:1. Get up and build us a God. Aseilonu Elohim, they say.
Make for us gods.
Gods, in plural, they say, yeah. Rashi says, they wanted many different deities to replace Moshe. So obviously it wasn't really an idol, because Moshe was not an idol. They wanted something to replace Moshe. A Wegweiser. GPS, maybe. They felt verblunget, abandoned in the middle of nowhere. Moses not coming. Where are we going? They felt Moses is their connection to God. Now we need another connection, yeah? A Mora Derech. So Aaron's reaction is very strange. What does he say to them in verse 2?
What to do?
Aaron, break off the earrings, right? The earrings and the gold that in the ears of your wives and children and your daughters, and bring it to me.
He gave the answer.
He gave the Eitzah. Very strange, right? So why did he give this strange Eitzah? How do you say Eitzah in English?
Take time.
Advice. Yeah, so Rashi says, look at Rashi bet. Wasn't a Shechem. Ama Aaron Belibo, page 282, right Rashi bet, 6 lines down from the top. Osnein the Shechem, in the ears of your wives. See Rashi's 6 lines down from the top? Wasn't it? Ama Aaron Belibo. Aaron said in his heart, it was a stall tactic. Hanoshim va'yeladim chasim tachshit naim. The women and the children, they're not going to give up their jewelry so easily. They cherish their tachshitim. What's a tachshit in Hebrew? Tachshit means jewelry. Shema yit'akef adover. Perhaps the matter will be delayed. They're arguing with their wives. Hand over the jewelry. We want to melt it down and make a getchka. Moshe. In the meantime, Moshe will come. Veheim lo yimtinu. But they didn't wait. The women refused to give the jewelry. And they broke off their own chains, their golden chai.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The women refused to give the earrings.
Right.
So where did they take the gold from?
Their own. Rashi says, "V'heim lo himtinu uparku mi'al atzman," and they took their own jewelry. The women refused to hand over their jewelry. Unlike for the Mishkan, when they did hand over the jewelry, here they refused. So the men used their own jewelry.
The hem and not the hen.
What?
The hem is masculine.
V'heim lo himtinu. The men didn't wait because the wives didn't want to give it.
Okay.
Uparku, and they broke off their own jewelry. Pasuk Gimel, by you spoke. What does it say, verse 3? How do I translate that? 32:3.
All the people took off with gold earrings.
Again?
Took off?
Here,
Verse 3. They say they broke off or what? Broke off or took off? What they say? Yeah. Again, the
the entire people unburdened themselves.
unburdened themselves.
Of the gold rings that were in their ears and brought them to Aaron.
Now, it doesn't mention Israel. All the time, Rabbi Yaakov Goldman, it keeps saying the word what? Ha'am.
Erev Rav.
Doesn't matter. Rashi points out, wherever it says ha'am, it means the Erev Rav. Ha'am means the Erev Rav.
Three.
As opposed to Bnei Yisrael. As opposed to Bnei Yisrael. As opposed to Am Yisrael. Or Kahal Yisrael. It keeps saying ha'am. Okay. So,
I got a question.
go ahead.
So in the footnotes here of verse 3, it says that Aaron knew that they were grievously mistaken.
Go
But
ahead.
he calculated that if he defied them,
They would lynch him.
And
As
if
they did his nephew, Hur, right?
that would make their sin and rebellion even worse.
Right.
However, don't we know that the first cardinal sins is that you give up your life to not commit idolatry?
That's your question.
That's my question. So why did he not give up his life?
That's a great question, my dear friend. You have to give up your life if they force you to worship idolatry. But if they force you to build an idol, you're supposed to do it and live. See, that was Hur's mistake. Good question. In fact, my Rebbe's explained as follows. Hur was such a heroic deed. How come it's not in the Torah? Rashi quotes Chazal that Hur, who's Hur? Aaron's nephew. The son of Miriam, he gave his life. He tried to stop the mob. And they lynched him. So such a heroic act, how come it's not in the Chumash? So this is the address of your question. You're supposed to give up your life if they force you to worship idols. Did they ask Aaron and Hur to worship idols? They just forced them to what? To build an idol. Someone forces you to build an idol or I'll kill you. It's like someone forces you to eat pig. You have to do it. If they force you to worship the idol, you have to give your life. But they force you to build an idol. Building an idol is like eating pig. It's not one of the three cardinal sins. And if your life is in danger, just like you're supposed to eat pig to stay alive, they force you to build an idol, not to worship it. Good question. They force you to worship it, you give up your life. But just to build it is not a cardinal sin. And therefore, Hur did a mistake. And therefore, his deed is not in the Chumash.
He made other people sin.
They put a gun to your head, build an idol, I'll kill you. What's the law? What's the law? Staying alive, staying up.
To help not to keep other people from sinning.
That's not my business. My life is in danger.
Okay, so I gotta worry
So
about
that's right.
They want to do it.
They didn't force Hur to worship the Getchke.
Rabbi.
They forced him to build it.
It's not a good reason to keep it out of the book because Nadav and Avihu.
But it's not in the book. You see it's not in the book.
Avihu made also a sin midei shamayim, but it is mentioned. So why is mentioned Nadav and Avihu? It's not mentioned.
This is what one of my Rabbeim, I don't remember which one, said this. I remember years ago. That's why the episode of Hur's heroic deed is not in the Chumash, because he made a mistake. That's not one of the sins you're supposed to die for. They didn't ask him to worship the idol. They told him, build an idol. That's like eating pig. You know, to build an idol. But if your life is in danger, staying alive.
Some mistakes are paid with death penalty.
Yeah, he made a mistake, Hur. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Okay.
Yehuda.
What Yehuda?
He
Yeah.
made a mistake.
We all make mistakes, okay? But you can learn from your mistakes. That was my shear yesterday. Yesterday, all my trouble.
No, your trouble starts tomorrow at 10.
So look at Pasuk Dalet. I wonder how he translates it. Exodus 32:4. So Aaron took the gold from their hands, and what did he do? Exodus 32.
ויעצר אותו בחרב,
Now what does that mean?
which is wrong.
What's wrong? So what Exodus 32:4. How do I have that? Eliezer, in English.
He took it from their hands
And?
bound it up in a cloth.
He bound it up in a cloth. 1 minute. He bound it up in a cloth. That's not exactly what it, well, Vayotz oisa b'cheret. Literally, Onkelos says it means he fashioned it with a graving tool. The tsar yote bezifa. Onkelos says he took the gold and he fashioned it with a graving tool. Who's he?
Aaron.
The high priest. Exodus 32:4. I wonder if they have that. Exodus 32:4.
You're nuts. You're nuts.
32:4. Exodus 32:4.
He's nuts.
Exodus 32:4.
Habrocha.
Now here he fudges it. Look at it. He took the rings from the people, Aaron, and he had someone form the gold in a mold. And he had someone form the gold in a mold,
Why is the image of the
casting it into a calf.
Why is the image of the calf?
1 second. Ramban feels about
Because of the
that.
Mitzvah.
Well, there's many interpretations of why. Let's go slow over here. Why? So the Ramban says the Jewish people had a mystical vision of God at Kabbalah Satorah. They saw the Meiser Merkava, the heavenly chariot that Ezekiel and Isaiah saw. And in the heavenly chariot, one of the angels that carries God's chariot, so to speak, had the face of what? A bull. Remember Ezekiel? The one had the face of an eagle,
Sure.
the face of an eagle, the face of a bull, the face of what? The face of a human, and the face of what? A lion. We said a lion too, right? 4 faces. So the Ramban says that the angel that had a face of a bull, and that's no bull, that represented strength. And they figured they'll go with that to represent that angel because they needed strength to get out of his midbar. That Moses is dead now. So they represented the face of the shore, the bull, that this angel represents God's Gevurah. And this is what they figured they needed to get out of this. They figured it's a death trap in the middle of nowhere, right? Stuck. I'm stuck, right? So others say that they wanted to do the bull because that was one of the deities in Egypt. One of the deities in Egypt, right? So what does it mean? He fashioned it with a graving tool. They say he bound it up in a what? In a cloth. Rashi brings a couple of pshatim over here. If you want to see the Rashi, one explanation is that they bound it up in a cloth, right? And the same in the other explanation, what Onkelos says in the other explanation, what Onkelos says is what he fashioned it with a graving tool. Aaron did. Like a solderer, S-L-O-D-E-R. He soldered it. Aaron did that. You hear? Smoldered it, soldered it. Solder. Yeah. Now look at the next Rashi. Egel Masecha. This Mamish Bittul Torah with Mamish Bittul Torah. It's really not right. I have to on.
We can ask.
Egel Masecha, go ahead. What?
We can also ask why.
Yeah.
Ma'aseh Merkava had this 4
Why dafke
animals.
those 4?
Animals.
Why did the Malachim have these faces of an ox, the face of a human. The human was Yaakov Avinu, right?
Yeah, human
The
is
face
okay.
of an eagle
Eagle.
and the face of a lion, right? The heavenly chariot. Why dafka those four? Well, let's
No,
think.
why animals at all?
Why animals?
There weren't a lot of elephants.
They're called chayot.
Yes.
Ezekiel calls them chayot,
והחיות הקודש.
right? The chayot. Why are the malachim called chayot?
המלאכים והחיות הקודש.
Why are they called chayot? Hello. Why the chayot means living creatures? Because angels are also alive. You don't need. The angels are called chayot. Do they have a body?
No.
It's my humble opinion. You don't have to have a body to be alive. I think it's a symbol of life after death. The angels are called chayot in Ezekiel. The chayot means living creatures, but they ain't got no body.
There is a difference.
So to prove that even though you ain't got no body, after you're dead, you're still alive.
There is a difference.
That's my opinion why the angels are called chayot. Because when a person dies, he has no body. He's like an angel, but he's still alive. And therefore, the malachim who have no body are called chayot. That's my humble opinion.
You have a difference between malachim and
They don't have
chayot
to have
HaKodesh.
root canals either.
They're one of the highest level of angels are called chayot. The Rambam mentions 10 classes of malachim, and one of the highest levels are the chayot. Then there's the kruvim, and then there's
The Krurian below the chayot
They don't,
HaKodesh.
Right.
They don't
Chayot
have,
are the
they don't have
highest.
root canal either.
My Rebbe Papam, he would say that Gehenna is not a punishment, it's root canal. he would say, because how do you attend a banquet with all the delicious foods if you have a rotten tooth? You can't enjoy the food, right? So first you have to get root canal. That's Gehenna. Once your teeth are fixed, now you can enjoy the banquet.
Which teeth? Which
That's a symbol for it.
Which
It's-
tooth have you got to? In the back.
Yeah.
Big ones.
Right, the molars. So that's part of the Gehenna. Hopefully that's my Gehenna, right? The root canal.
No thank you.
Alfie, you can pay me now or
Pay later.
pay later. But I ain't gonna need cash. You gotta pay. You gotta pay, right?
Where are we?
We are in Exodus 32. 4.